Welcome to 20 at 10 with Nat. I'm your host, Natalie, and my special guest tonight is Kevin Russell of Shinyribs. Very excited to have him as my guest. He's a new acquaintance to me. We met through, actually, I'll tell you that in a second. But first, you may know of Kevin from his history with the Gourds, but you probably know him because of Shinyribs, a legendary Austin band that I, to my chagrin, have actually not seen live yet. Please welcome Kevin.
Hello.
Hello!
How you goes it? Yep.
Decent this evening. How are you?
Decent, yeah.
Thank you for joining me tonight and hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for the opportunity. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are streaming live to Twitch. Joanna is joining us on Twitch, and we're on Facebook. Corey's with us on Facebook, and Ken, and also we're on YouTube. So if y'all are watching on Facebook and you are already aware it's going to be a great show, you should share it on your page so people can join us. Kevin, you have an album coming out this year, Late Night
hmm
TV Gold. Tell me about
hmm
it. What are you excited about?
Man, well, because in the pandemic time, as you know, as well as anyone, that we've all had to learn a lot of things, right? A lot of music creators and artists I know, creative types, have thrived because they're open minded and they're always learning and they adapt to whatever the situation is. And I did the same, as I've always done in my life. I was already dabbling in MIDI recording, MIDI instruments, using a MIDI keyboard and using Logic Pro, a program called Logic Pro, to because they had so many sounds within it. I was recording a lot with drum loops and MIDI stuff, which was new to me. I mean, that's to me that's it's very strange. I didn't understand what it was. Um, but that's what I focused my energy on, is learning that early on in the pandemic. I was learning MIDI instruments and doing drum loops and building essentially what is about as like a Shinyribs EDM record is what I
Okay.
what I pretty much done.
Okay.
It's
And
not that.
everyone in the comments got real excited about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I played it for the band. I just got my master back. I just had it mastered, and I have standard mixes, which are already pretty far out, pretty psychedelic, electronic, but with my own musical style applied to them. And I
Okay.
play live instruments with the MIDI instruments. I just thought it'd be
Okay.
interesting. My idea was to work with my band and get them to send me tracks, but some of them could do it, but not all of them could do it. Not
Yeah.
every musician can accomplish home recording. It's a lot. Do you home record?
I have
Uh huh.
very intentionally and specifically. I mean, I demo out all of my songs, but that's very basic. But I've
Yeah.
done a lot of vocal work for other people over the
Oh, okay.
last year.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the primary thing that I do is vocal recordings that I send on.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, cool.
So
I,
harmonies and
I wish I
any
would have known you way back in April.
you need anything, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
I love
Uh,
dropping on the ooze and like kind of
yeah.
like
Okay. So yeah, you
adding
do.
like ethereal like those are the kind of layers that I play with vocally.
You were you being facetious when you said you were a decent harmony singer?
I don't like to commit. I mean, I'm just like a. I don't want to like you can be the
Right. I
judge of
hear you.
that. But
I hear
basically,
you.
you can be the judge of that. I think I have a
Right.
lot of fun.
hmm
Harmonies come to me pretty naturally, but occasionally I get a little like where's the note there? What should that be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm a decent harmony singer as well. I would describe myself the same way. But so that's what I did, and I made a ton of recordings. I don't know. I'm a very prolific songwriter. I always have been,
Okay.
um,
Wait, what
and
does that mean? Like,
I
how
write a
many
lot of songs.
per week? No, no, no. Okay, yes, but like, how many songs are you talking about? Like, what's a normal week to month of you writing songs? What does that look
I don't
like?
know. I've never counted it that way, but
Do you
it's
write multiple
constant.
a day?
It could, yeah. I have ideas. I mean, creative ideas every day. It might be for a song. It might just be a poem. It might be an idea for collage or just something I want to see,
Yeah.
But I'm a everyday. I mean, that's what I do. I'm an artist, and I just create every day, and because that's what makes me the happiest,
Oh, I agree. I am also creating like snippets of things every day, but like whole
Yeah.
complete songs.
Whole complete songs. That's a good question. I mean, I guess maybe whole complete songs. I don't know. I'm guessing like 5 or 10 a month, something like that. I mean,
Okay,
I
so
could do a
like
whole album easily in a
that's
month.
like 2 to 3 a week, maybe.
Not
Okay.
not to say they're all good.
Right, right, right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. But
That's the
like
thing, yeah.
I found you have to like write through the bad ones to get to the good
Oh
ones.
yeah, it's definitely. And sometimes the
Yeah.
bad ones are the good ones. You never know.
You know,
There's a
it's hard to say sometimes. Do you ever write a song and you're like, this is absolute crap, and then you come back to it a few months later or years later and you're like, I actually that was good.
yeah.
Has it been like that?
There's a song on the new record that is. I mean, I tried to write the most derivative, cliche '80s kind of songs I could write. It's called
Okay.
"Rhythm of the Night,"
Okay. Nice.
and it is. I would say it is crap. It's just total cliche crap, but I love it. It's like I've written a guilty pleasure for myself.
Nice. I don't. I have just been introduced to the turtleneck and blazer videos this week.
I
Are
don't know
you?
what that is. Are you
I
turning me
don't
on?
know where it came from. I haven't had a chance to like look up where it came from, but like everyone's making funny videos and it's like a song that sounds from the 80s and it's like
Really?
turtleneck and blazer, shoot
Oh,
straight like a laser.
right on. I heard you singing that earlier. Oh,
My mic was supposed to be muted actually on that.
that's fine.
Um,
That's all I heard.
well, I cannot get over it. It is so funny, and I'm like, it has to be from something that I just don't know the reference. But um,
Yeah, I love it. I love that phrase though. Turtleneck and blazer.
yeah. Okay, I'll have to share it with you later. It's
Definitely shows.
hysterical. It's
Mhm.
hysterical. My favorite. So, have you been on TikTok at all?
I don't. I'm not. I got on it, but then like the next day, I remember was when that whole "it's a
Oh,
Chinese spy ring" thing
yeah.
came out. And I got a little freaked out.
That's fair. There's I'll share one video from there and it's this trio of men, older men who basically make a music video to it and it's
Oh.
I props to them.
Okay,
It's
yeah, definitely. Send me
amazing.
that. Send
I
me that.
it's
Do you think I should
amazing.
get on TikTok?
You know what? You would probably you I feel like just the little that I know you and what I've
Uh-huh.
seen of you online, I feel like you could be a sensation. So that's where people tend to get famous. I'm just saying,
I know that's true. It's like I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get in. Maybe I don't want to be famous. I don't know.
But I
That's
mean,
right.
I don't know.
Noel
Like,
Hampton. She knows "Rhythm of the Night." You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
yeah, yes. Okay. Well, I've completely derailed myself too in this conversation, but
Good.
uh,
That's a good thing.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're fine and along for the ride.
I love derailing. Do you remember
Um,
the Derailleurs? You remember that band, the Derailleurs, the
no,
country band? Yeah, there was a country band in Austin in the '90s.
that's
Bunch of old
amazing.
guys. They called the Derailleurs. They were
That's
good.
so funny. You're from Beaumont?
Yes.
I have roots
Show
in
over.
Orange.
Oh,
What?
really?
Yeah,
You got friends in Orange? Oh my God.
my dad grew up in Orange.
Oh,
My grandma still owns Ray Price Realty. Did you know that was my granddad?
wow. That's killer, man.
So, on the edge
Wow,
of
that's
Cajun
cool. See, you
country.
got a little Golden Triangle DNA.
Except that I think I'm allergic to the Golden Triangle because every
Well,
time
no,
I go down
everybody
there, like,
wanted to the
I
Golden
just,
Triangle. It's
oh,
highly toxic.
yeah, it's
I mean,
unfortunate.
naturally, it was all along. Yeah, and when the mosquitoes, the
Oh my
Karankawa
gosh.
Indians used to live down there, and they were known as the Skunk People because they would smear their body with mud from the swamps to keep the mosquitoes off of them. So they were these mud people that walked around down there,
It's
and
kind
they
of
smelled like
amazing. That's pretty
salt. It
smart.
was sulfur. They smell like sulfur because there's always been oil and gas bubbling up down there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird, beautiful place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm always amazed by the trees,
yeah,
like because
yeah.
the trees are so different
Oh
than
yeah,
here in Austin. We got like the scraggly, like
yeah.
oaks
We
and
don't get enough
cedars and
rain
stuff.
here. We don't get enough rain here to
Yeah.
sustain. Like down there is almost subtropical. I mean, when I growing up there, I mean, anything you could drop a piece of lettuce and it would grow. And like the
Yeah, I'm not
shower
sure what
curtain,
it's growing. Plenty
you're
of
not sure what's
mold
going.
too.
So
Yeah.
like our shower curtains would grow mold. There's so much
Yeah.
mold and mildew down there. Not to gross anybody
Anything
out, but it's just
anything that came from my grandma's house,
yeah,
like I have some of her scarves, they still smell like the Golden
yeah.
Triangle. I've
I'm
washed
sure they
them.
do.
We
It's
can't get
teeming
it
with
out. Yeah.
it's teeming with life, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
New Orleans is like that too. The whole Gulf Coast is really like that, which
Yeah.
And I grew up with bugs. There's bugs all around me. I'm just at home with bugs. I feel comfortable with bugs. My children are afraid of bugs, but it's like, man, bugs are my friend. I was a lonely child.
Man, that's so funny. Well, I'm glad to meet someone else with roots in
Yeah,
the Golden Triangle.
yeah. There's
Um,
there's a lot of people in Austin with some Golden Triangle roots, like Mayo and Broussard. You know that group?
yeah.
Yeah, Tate Mayo. They're both from about down there.
Didn't he
They have
move
roots
to like New Hampshire or something?
there.
He's up in snow country.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hate
you should.
moved?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
started dating. I don't remember her name, but they were working together, and now they're like own a coffee shop, I think, or a bakery up. And
Man, I have been
you
out
should
of it.
catch up.
I should catch up.
Um, you and I met through Facebook though, through that instrument swap group.
Oh,
And
right. That's right. hmm
though the instrument swap didn't work out, you were really kind and helpful.
I thought it
And
was a good idea.
yeah, it's a great idea. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh wait, you should be my guest one sometime if you want to
that's
come
right. That's right.
chat, shoot the breeze,
I forgot how we met.
play a
That's a good
song.
way to
Yeah, I
meet.
think that's how we actually. I knew of you. I
Uh-huh,
knew
sure.
of Shinyribs, but
Yeah,
we
right.
had not met.
Yeah, I'm a mythical beast, is what I am.
Well, I've seen the videos, so
Yeah. No, I thought that is it not going anymore, or is it
oh
not
no,
working
no,
out?
it's still going.
Okay.
But
So
like
it's
our trade, our specific, I
the
reached out
specific
about
trade. Yeah.
Wurlitzer or something or some kind of
It was. Yeah. It was a little
something.
organ, a little air
Yeah.
organ.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't remember
yeah.
things, but
I was just looking for anything to get me
that smelled
out.
like the Golden Triangle as well. Just so you know.
I amazing. I ended up borrowing a bazooki actually from Corey.
Oh.
He's tuning in tonight. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah. What kind of bazooki? A 3-string or 4-string?
a double four string, like
4-string, Irish bazooki. Yeah.
yeah, but
So there's the Greek
from
bazooki, which is
Greece.
3.
Is
Is it like an open, more like a dulcimer thing? And then the
interesting.
Irish bazooki, which is the 4-course. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the
Well,
best way to go, I think, probably.
I was trying to write something on it, and I realized I like the sound of it. It reminds me of banjo, but
Oh yeah.
it's so rounded.
Yeah.
Like I can't,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
You
like
are
even
good.
wearing the thing because it hooks the U hook from underneath to
Yeah.
hold it.
Yeah.
You can't stand with it because it just like bowls over, and so like I have to
Yeah.
sit like cross-legged and use my like leg to hold it.
Yeah. Oh,
So
beautiful. I
I'm
think
sitting
maybe that
like,
was why it was that way. Maybe it was made to play cross-legged.
or I sit like almost with my knee up like this to like hold it. And then like I wrote one song and I was like my wrist hurts so bad from this
Yeah.
weird position that I
Yeah,
don't know
you're
if I
using all
can.
those muscles you never use. Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun to play and it sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great instrument. I love it.
You
I
play
got
a lot of instruments.
I play a lot of instruments.
How
Yeah.
many instruments do you play?
Well,
If you
you
could,
know, I have a
can you
lot of
count them? Do you know?
guitar. I have a lot of different ukuleles. I have mandolin, banjo, bazooki, basses, and string instrument. Anything with strings, I'd like to play.
Okay.
So,
I saw
but
the banjolele earlier. Do you have
man,
a
yeah,
mandolele or what are the other
mandola.
tiny?
I used to have a mandola. I loaned it to JT Stewart. If you're watching JT, I need that thing back. But
You gonna dox
mandolin,
him on
I
my show?
don't like the mandolin tuning that well. Mandolin tuning, there's something about it that it's hard to accompany. You need accompaniment with it. It doesn't sort of uh, um, like a ukulele. The ukulele tuning is better because it the way you play chords, you can accompany yourself. You can get that.
Yeah.
You get something going. It's a little droney underneath that you can play chords underneath of the things you're playing. So mandolin is harder for me anyway to do that. But yeah, I have all versions of ukuleles you can imagine. Baritone ukuleles, tenor, concert, sopranos, all kinds of things.
How many? There's so many comments coming in. I can add people in, like I can, but
I know all these people. I know all these people. You don't want to talk to any of these people.
what? How many? So in a normal, not pandemic times, and you're going to a gig, how many instruments are you personally bringing that you're anticipating
Oh,
playing?
well, I keep it simple. I mean, I just play guitar and ukulele at a Shiny Rib show. That's
Okay.
all I play.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get the thing about it is you don't want to get bogged down in a live show picking up different instruments, and especially
Yeah.
like this instrument, for instance. This is a T play. T play. It's a 10 string metal
Oh.
string ukulele. So it's cool. But you can imagine. So you have some of these are paired as threes. There are three strings that you have to tune the same, and it's an old instrument. It's like 1920s, so it doesn't really tune very well. You get into that ballpark of tuning.
Man, that's when
Tuning
you
is a
need
European anal tendency.
you have a guy on the side tuning it for you. That's when you
That's,
need.
that's and it's hard to
Yes.
tune it. It really, I mean, I don't know if like I can tune it, but then it's going to be a little out of tune. I think that's the idea of it. To have
Yeah, that there's a certain charm that's a little
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Jim Dickinson, famous producer out of Memphis, he that was his thing. He was like, tuning is an anal European tendency, and we are all cursed with that. I'm sure. I certainly
Yeah. I mean, like, but you can tell when something like I'm okay if my guitar's just tuned to itself, like if I'm
Yeah.
playing by myself, but like
Right.
if it's if one string is really off, it does irritate me because
Oh
like
yeah.
I
Sure. Oh, me too. No, me too. It has. You want to be in tune.
yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, I agree. What
Yeah.
um what song currently for you in your
Mm.
repertoire of so many songs? What's
Hmm.
your current song that brings you the most joy to play these days?
Mm. Wow. Right now, there's a lot of there's a cover I learned by a writer named Michael Hurley, who was maybe like B Team Greenwich Village '60s folk guy. He was
Mm-hmm.
not a known guy, but he was part of that scene, and I'd never heard of him. But I have a Patreon, and one of my patrons, I did a all request live stream with them, and one of them, Denise Williams, she runs a house concert in Tennessee, and she suggested this Michael Hurley song I'd never heard, so I listened to it, and it's an amazing song. He does more of a folky country version, and I do and so. But when I sort of adapt a song to my style,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I try is like a second line thing, like a New Orleans, like
Oh.
that kind of second line. They call it second line, and so I put it to a second line beat, and it worked really great. It's a pretty radical departure from his version, but it
I
made it
think
my
that's
own
what
song.
makes covers beautiful though, as I'm
Oh yeah,
learning.
definitely. Oh, I
There's like
love
two I've realized this past year because I was working on a covers project.
that.
There's
Oh
two
yeah.
levels of covering songs, or at least spheres. And the first level is just learning the song.
Hmm.
And like I was learning all the songs on this album as like it was my favorite album last year and I was like I'm going to
Hmm.
cover the whole album and I'm going to do it in 2 months and I still haven't finished it, but like 8 out of 12.
Yeah.
And I realized kind of in the last couple of months of last year that like I could there's an element of I want to learn these songs because I want to like peek into this songwriter's tendencies and like how he writes and like
Yeah.
what chord progressions he's using and stuff. And then I realized, but also there's a next level to playing covers, and that's making it my own.
Right.
And I realized for the last few, I do want to finish that project, but those last few, I really want to make them my own. Like,
Yeah.
still maybe kind of recognizable, but like
Mm-hmm.
pulling away from imitating his style and bringing my own
Right.
style more into it on purpose. So
That's great.
we'll see
That's
what
great.
happens. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. To me, that's a great thing to. It's a great exercise to go through for a music creator because it teaches you about arrangement and the possibilities of an arrangement to alter a song or to change a song. So you can take what you learn from that and apply it to your own songs. And so maybe you have a song that you kind of like, but it's not like totally turning you on. Well, completely change the arrangement,
right.
just turn it inside out. And I do
Yeah.
that a lot with songs. Just play with arrangements. I mean, to me, that's songwriting unto itself is an art, but arranging a song is unto itself an art as well. And then
Yeah.
that really is producers, great producers. That's what they do really well is arrange songs, I think.
Yeah. Denise had a
Yeah.
nice thing to say.
Yeah. So you don't do a whole lot of home recording, but you do think about arrangements or keys of song you're playing
Not necessarily.
in?
I I think through, well, if I'm thinking about writing a song, or actually I had a friend and he just sent me really raw tracks that just had like the template of his songs, and he's
Uh-huh.
like, and had maybe his vocals in it, but like the
Uh-huh.
rest of the song wasn't really built out. He was
Uh-huh.
like, play, just see what happens, just
Yeah.
sing things on this. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
And so I just started like building
Uh-huh.
layers of vocals and harmonies, and like
Uh-huh.
during certain instrumental sections I build like a weird ooh, like
Mm-hmm.
those. So like I can flesh out and hear certain arrangements like that, but I don't necessarily always think about like there should definitely be a cello here and this should be the melody, or like I hear, but sometimes I do. Like I have a song in my head right now that very clearly I do not play keys. Very
Mm-hmm.
clearly is a piano playing these like five
Mm-hmm.
chords
Yeah.
at the beginning of the song, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's how it's gonna start, and I will
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
either
you hear
learn
certain
how to play
sounds.
it, or I will
Yeah.
get someone else to play it for me whenever I get that song recorded.
What about structure of songs like chorus, verse, bridge, where those go and how they transition?
What
Because
about them?
to me, that's the arrangement. To me, that's a.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could, yeah. To me, that the structure of the song is the arrangement in my mind.
Oh, I thought you meant like the building of the atmosphere
Well,
around
sure,
it.
the parts, certain parts for sure when you record a song, and like horn arrangements are arrangements unto themselves, and keyboards sometimes fall in that.
Yeah. No, I definitely will play with arrangements, especially if
Yeah.
I'm like we were talking about making a cover my own, or like
Uh
playing
huh.
with
Yeah.
a song to make it, if something's not working or it feels
Yeah.
too normal
Uh
or
huh.
like too predictable, I'll be like,
Yeah.
this
That's
needs a
good.
twist. Something needs
Right.
to
Yeah,
happen.
that's good.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good
what
instinct.
if I start with the chorus, or what if I don't know, start with the second verse? Like, maybe that's it. I find that normally the first verse that I write as a
Mm-hmm.
first verse is
Mm-hmm.
not what should be the first verse. Oftentimes, what I write as the second verse should be the first verse. And a
Right.
lot of times, I'll just scrap that whole first verse completely
Yeah.
because it's like not that great. And in the second verse is where I really started to dig in and get to some
Uh
of the
huh.
pictures and stuff.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, you're a producer. You have a producer's brain. It sounds like
Interesting.
that's what that is.
Interesting.
A lot of
Okay.
people don't have that. They don't think about those little nuances.
Well, we'll see what happens
Yeah.
next as I start to explore. I've just been
Suspense.
trying. Suspense. I've been
Suspense.
trying to like write this year. This past year has been so crazy. I've been trying to just get out as many good songs as possible.
Now,
And
have you written songs about this time? Because I
I
wrote a lot of
have.
songs about the pandemic, but I feel like with my new record, I have a really great song on there that's called "Put It On." That's
Hmm.
like it's like a one person tell another person, "Put on your mask." They're partners, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Put on your mask. Put it on your. We're going out tonight. Put it on. Yeah,
Oh,
take it off.
nice.
Put it on." And but then I think I thought of the fact that there's Denise Williams is here. We talked about Michael Hurley. Um, but I thought about like maybe people don't want to hear songs about what they just lived through.
I know it's hard to decide because I'm
Yeah,
like I don't want to like keep ripping the
yeah,
band-aid off of that wound,
exactly.
because
That's
it's
a good way
pretty
of putting
fresh.
it. It's pretty fresh.
But
Yeah,
sometimes I might be changing what song I play at the end if we're going down this road.
sure.
I just wrote one that like I don't know, it kind of summarizes how it kind of was, how it
Mm-hmm.
still is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've written a couple. Though I released a single last summer called Heavy, and that kind of touched on it. But it more than it being about. I mean, it was about the pandemic, but like I didn't really talk about it. I just made like a reference in the beginning. Take off that
Mm-hmm.
mask you're wearing. And but it was more of like a lean on me kind of song. Like, hey
Oh,
friend,
okay.
I know it's rough,
Yeah.
like, but I'm here
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, but it's hard because like I wrote some at the beginning that were super on the nose and kind of like they were so on the nose that it was intended to be kind of funny, but like a sad funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's hard. It's hard to know. Like I feel like what I what I'm feeling right now, and I don't know where this comes from, but I feel like I should have just put those songs out right when I was writing them, like at the moment, like real time songs. Like Mark Russell, you know that political writer Mark Russell. I don't know if you remember that guy, but he would write topical songs. They were topical songs, and so topical songs I think should come out as soon as possible. You know, because if you put them out after it happened, like the Black Lives Matter movement, that protest era, that those few months there where we saw the nation ripped apart
Yeah.
and people expressing their anger. I wrote some things about that I it should have just put out right then, because if you put it out now, it doesn't have it doesn't it's not relevant anymore. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
There's yeah, I don't know. I felt like some of it too, like I wanted the songs that I wanted to write though, more than it being something that would, because I felt like if I'm writing about what we're all feeling like right now, I'm just describing what we're feeling, like I don't know that
Yeah.
that's helpful. But
Right.
if I could write a song that still means something 2
Uh huh.
years from now or 10
Right.
years from now,
Uh
that's the
huh.
song I want to write. The one that
Yeah.
will age well. And
Sure.
so like that was what I was struggling with is like I want to
Yeah.
write about this feeling of helplessness, but how can I do it?
Right.
Maybe I'm subtly referencing the pandemic, but like I'm not too on the nose about it so that like it still applies to other situations in life, but like
Yeah.
I wrote it in the pandemic and it's about the pandemic.
Yeah. And there's going to be no mistake about that when people hear it. I mean, they know. I would
Yeah.
think well, not everyone, but most people would know. You're probably most of your fans would know.
Yeah, potentially.
But
Uh
yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. And I think what I've learned is that I should have put those songs out while it was happening, certain songs, you know.
so in the future, cuz I mean it seems like,
In the
we're only
next
going to it's
pandemic,
only going to be more volatile. There's going to be something that happens.
well, that's true.
So are you
Right.
going to, write a song and release it, within a couple weeks of a thing happening? Is that, can we all expect
You could
this
do
from
that.
you?
We have the technology. We have the technology.
Speaking of technology, can I tell everyone else what happened earlier?
Let's laugh.
Okay, so Kevin sent me information on what he's doing later this year, and one of the things he wrote was an acronym OSMF, And I was like, I know the F is probably a festival. I was trying to like, but I
Right.
just Googled OSMF, and let me tell you, it's a precancerous condition. So Google if you want, but OSMF
Oh, that's it, man,
is
motherfucker.
actually Kevin's gonna be playing at
Old Settlers Music Festival.
Old
Yeah.
Settlers. So don't worry, folks.
Don't worry.
It's not a precancerous thing we're talking about tonight.
No, it's not.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah. It's gummy.
Well,
It's gummy heavy.
all right.
Ray
So,
Prim. Ray Prim is on here.
wow, Ray, you're up late tonight.
Ray's up late.
Thanks,
Up late
Ray.
with Ray.
All right. So I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna switch this up a little bit since we've just been
Okay, yeah.
talking. Do
Let's
you
switch it up.
have? Did you have a specific question for me? And then we'll go back and forth on these little pop questions I
Oh,
got.
yeah. I wanted to talk to you about, ask you about your more like kind of technical stuff, like your vocals. You double your vocals a lot. Do you do that? That's your choice, or
It was not my choice per se, but I liked it.
yeah,
For the first, that was my debut EP, and it's almost 2 years old, and I cannot believe that.
yeah.
So I worked with Brian Douglas Phillips, and that was his. He
Huh.
suggested it. He showed me a demo of it, and I was like, okay, yeah, cool.
Okay.
So, and I think there was maybe one song that at least the first verse was not doubled. But there
Uh-huh.
were there was a lot of doubling and a lot of harmonies and doubled harmonies, which was really fun in the
Yeah.
studio.
With your
But
recordings, I mean, I really love listening to your recordings, and I mean, they are really all your recordings sound really good, and
thank you.
yeah, your vocals are. I mean, you have an amazing voice just by itself, just your
Thank you.
voice. Like when you were sound checking, I was like, holy shit, what an amazing
Thanks.
voice! Oh yeah, no, I love your voice. That's the thing about voices is you have the voice you have,
Yeah.
and
Can't
people
really
think
change
we have
it.
control of it, but it's like, well, no, for the most part, it comes out the way it comes out.
Yeah, we
And
can change like some pronunciation and
right, we can
like
change phrasing for
and
sure.
some how we're pushing it out some.
Yeah,
And we
right.
can, not take care
Yeah,
of it and sound like
well, that's true. I've been there. I've been there. Did
yeah.
you ever smoke, or
I
do you smoke?
haven't. I
You've never
don't.
smoked?
No.
Good for
I've
you.
tried and I
You
hate it.
tried. I've tried. Yeah.
Well, I will occasionally smoke a cigar with a friend.
Oh, nice.
And I
Damn.
like the smell of pipe tobacco, but like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
like
Pipe tobacco
smoking.
is the best. It's the best. It's
Um,
so sweet.
but like I'll always probably try it, but I'll be like, nah, I still don't like it.
Hmm.
So
I love the
whatever.
smell of pipe tobacco. My grandfather, my Pawpaw Russell, he used to smoke a pipe. It was this sweet, sweet tobacco,
It
kind of
just
vanilla smell.
it's comforting. Like I don't
Oh my
know.
God, I
I
loved it.
really like it. I
And
feel
so I remember when I was a kid, I would go to see my cousin, the oldest person in my family. He was the oldest grandchild, my cousin Craig, and he played football for Forest Park High School in Beaumont, if that means
oh
anything to
no.
anybody. And I can remember going to those football games on Friday nights, and I could smell my grandfather. There's like all these people out there, hundreds of people, and I smelled my grandfather, and I would follow that smell, and
Wow.
I
That's
would
amazing.
find him in the stands, and he would greet me with his pipe, and he called every male in the family Tiger. He's like, "Hey, Tiger."
Nice.
He couldn't remember our names because he called us all Tiger.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And I was
That's
way
kind of
down the line.
smart. I
Oh no,
mean,
it was, yeah, yeah.
musicians kind of got to do that too
Yeah,
sometimes.
oh, exactly. I know. I've learned that from him. And you know what's funny about my pawpaw too? His name was Harvey Russell, Harvey Creed Russell. And I remember I was about 20, 21. I started my first bands, and I told him, I was playing in a band and playing music, and he told me, he's like, you need to get an MC. And I just thought that was the corniest damn thing I ever heard. MC? What are you talking about? MC? He's like, yeah, you need somebody to announce you and to hype up the crowd. That's such an old school thing. But that's what I eventually came. I have a guy now. He's my MC, and he hypes
That's
up the crowd.
awesome. I mean,
And I
you
was
know
like,
what?
Papa was right.
Yeah, that's my strategy too. If I ever throw a party, I gotta have a hype person there
You
because
should have
I don't hype people. I don't hype parties. If I
no, you
do,
no,
I'm
no.
in rare form when I do,
Yeah.
and I probably haven't slept the night before. Is probably what's happening. I'm like sleep deprived high. Yeah. So like
Yeah,
at camp or something, I'm like
yeah.
going on
It's an
30
old school.
minutes.
It's an old school thing. The hype person. James Brown had one. I mean, a lot of soul
Hey,
bands had them, and
check.
Tejano bands have them. A lot of
Ray
them.
just volunteered to be your hype stand-in.
Ray could hype it. Ray could hype it.
If anybody could, Ray
Ray knows
could.
how to hype it.
Yeah.
I know. Ray. Well, I have a guy, but I can fire him.
Oh, that's fun. You heard it here first, folks. The beginning of the end for your current hype man. Are you ready for some pop questions to
Pop
get
question.
here?
Pop query me.
Have you ever played strip poker?
I never have.
All right. Have you ever flirted with a married person?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anything interesting?
Anything interesting?
I I saved all the weird ones for you apparently. Hold on. Have you Wow, I'm like
I like interesting. If it's inappropriate, that's fine. You can ask me.
okay. Have you ever punched a stranger?
I have. I have.
Okay. How'd that
I'm.
turn out for
I
you?
lived in Louisiana for a while, and that happens in Louisiana on a regular basis.
Any story worth telling?
No, I think it was just some asshole in front of me. I was trying to get to the bar, and he was drunk, and I pushed him down and kicked him off to the side, which is a
Nice.
daily occurrence in Louisiana.
We do have a question coming in here.
Oh.
What's one of the most memorable first shows, good or
Mm.
bad, that you
Oh, yes.
recall?
Yes. So one of my first shows was I was in middle school, 8th grade, and I had a band called Malice, and it was a four-piece exactly. It was a four-piece band. I played guitar. I wrote all the songs. It was all original material, and I had a friend, David Harris, who was the drummer, and then we had a bass player who wasn't real great, and a lead guitar player. And so we got the Valentine's dance at Humble Middle School.
Umbo.
Humble Middle School, out right outside of Houston. It's north of Houston off of 1960 there. And I went to Humble Middle School and Humble High School. And so Humble Middle School, the 8th grade Valentine's dance, we got hired to play that. There was a DJ and us, and so it was our time to play. And I swear, the whole week, like we were pretty popular, and like all the kids were like excited about Malice. It was like a lot of hype building up to it. David had a lot to do with it. He was a hype guy, and a lot like Ray Prim is a hype guy, and and anyway, so two of the guys didn't show up. They got so nervous they didn't show up. And then we didn't know anything about we didn't know
Wow.
anything about a PA or how to amplify sound. I had a giant casino amp. It was like four 10-inch speakers. It was like an old 60s amp. It actually had a fuzz button knob on it, and it said fuzz.
Nice.
Yeah, if I'd known how to use it. And then David played drums, so it was just guitar and drums. We were basically the Black Keys, just not as good. And and we didn't have a vocal mic, and the DJ realized that. So the gym is like packed with people.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh. That's amazing.
everyone's there, and I mean, we were like set up for the greatest success. The DJ said, "Here, you can use my mic for vocals," and so I used the DJ's mic for vocals. And then we started playing it. I mean, by the second song, the gym was cleared. It was so loud, and it was terrible. We were
That's
so
funny.
dejected. Yeah, and I remember our parents taking us to Denny's afterwards. We went to Denny's, and us just being totally dejected and wanted to give up music. And our parents were like, encouraging us, like, "Hey, keep on trying. You're gonna get better. Next time. You learned a lot from this." And they were real, positive, and
That's nice.
It
To
was
have
nice.
parents that were like, keep
Yeah,
trying.
they were
Mine
they were
were
positive. Yeah,
mine
they
were
were
like, say goodbye to your dreams.
positive.
Like, what?
Yeah,
So, music for me is an act of rebellion, I guess.
yeah, yeah. That was my first band gig. My first solo gig was in a speech class at the same high school, or no, at Captain Shreve High School in Shreveport some years later. Um, and that was a positive experience. I had a speech class, and the speech teacher hated me because I was always reading magazines during his class and blowing him off, and I was not a good student. He didn't like me very much. But we had this project due, and it's like any kind of can't think of the word, but any kind of project, any kind of speech, any kind of uh, performance you want to give, you can give. It was like a free form thing. And so I procrastinated, of course. And then night before, I was like, shit, I write songs. I could just play a couple of these songs I wrote. And so I went in with my guitar and I played a couple of songs, and the class was like, holy shit. It was a
Wow.
really great moment. And the speech teacher was like, mouth open. He's like, holy, what the fuck? He's like, I thought you were a useless, talentless piece of shit. I was like, yeah, I am. I just can write songs. That's all.
Oh man, that's funny.
And then I played the talent show that year, and yeah, and it was cool. It really changed my life, that moment, for sure.
At that moment in speech class,
Yeah.
where
Oh yeah.
like people were
First
like,
performance
huh?
ever in public. Yeah. Because I was afraid to play in front of my family. I was so shy, about
I was
what
shy
I do.
too.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
lot of music creators were when they were young, because you don't feel like you don't have any value. You feel like you're like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know, I'm probably not any good. I like to do this, but I don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of I was like super insecure, very
yeah,
lonely, didn't have any friends.
I'm the same way.
Trying to think of my first. I remember my first audition. I was
Really?
maybe third grade, and I was
Wow.
I was in church choir, and then we were putting on
Uh-huh.
some kind of like musical or something,
Right,
and I
right.
wanted the lead role clearly,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
because I guess I do love the spotlight. I mean, at some
yeah,
point you gotta
yeah, oh
enjoy
yeah,
it.
of course.
And I remember I was nervous, but I learned the song or whatever, and I walked on stage, and I guess I didn't visualize how it was gonna go, but it was in the giant auditorium. I was at like a mega church in the Dallas area.
Uh-huh.
I'm on the stage of the main auditorium,
Uh-huh.
and like it's huge room. All of the other kids are behind me, which is kind
Uh-huh.
of a weird feeling. And then
Yeah.
there's a piano right there, and then like the people who are judging you on the front row. And I just like
Yeah.
had that moment of like,
Oh
and
shit.
they started playing the piano to cue me, and I open my mouth to sing the part, and nothing comes out. I'm like,
Oh. Oh my god. That's a
and
lot
they
for
they like
a
did
kid.
it again. They like gave me another chance,
You're
like.
right, right.
It was so I was so terrified. I just
Yeah,
froze, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
never well, I didn't really try out again for anything until high school, and then I still
right.
was so shy. I never
Yeah.
sang out, and I never got any other solos or anything.
Uh-huh.
I sang choir all through.
Probably because you didn't want them, because you knew what that feeling was.
I wanted them. I would always try
Yeah.
out, and I would
Uh-huh.
sing, but I was always scared too, and that
Yeah.
failure
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
tainted everything else. That
Yeah. The
fear.
colors and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say even now, like singing, it's only been the last couple of years that I've actually sung out more, and like
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm always at this point pushing myself to the edge of my voice to see
Yeah.
what I can do,
Right.
trying to forget like all of the failures from
Yeah. Yeah. No,
not knowing what I
I mean,
was doing.
yeah. It's it takes a lot of courage to get up in front of anyone, and sing your own songs, especially.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes a lot of courage to
it's
do that.
scary.
It is scary.
So
You're
that
so vulnerable.
that eighth grade for you speech classes when you played your song first for someone else.
Yeah, that was probably freshman year or sophomore year in high school when I sang that speech class thing.
Okay,
Yeah, so I
that's
was a little older, and that gave me the courage to enter the talent contest in my junior year. But you know what? The thing that I'm still mad about, Natalie, is that so they divided into a band. There was a band category, and there was a solo duo category.
okay.
And then some friends of mine, these two guys, they played drums. They just played along with Herbie Hancock's Rocket. They were just playing along with the recorded music, and they were both good drummers, but they played the part that was already set by Herbie Hancock. They
Okay.
didn't do anything special. I mean, they were good, but it was like, but they won the solo duo. I didn't win the solo duo that year.
What'd you get second?
I got second, and I was pissed. And so the next year, I entered the band category with my band, the Picket Line Coyotes, and I entered the solo category. I said, I'm going to win one of these motherfucking categories.
Did you?
I did. I won. I won the solo. They wouldn't give it to the band category because we were too like. So Shreveport's a very religious town, right? There's like
Okay.
more churches than convenience stores, and so I was doing really like anti-religious kind of atheist punk rock. I was very like edgy punk rock guy, and so no one was going to give me that award because I was confronting them. But my solo thing, a friend of mine in high school had been stabbed that year
Oh.
and died. He was died out on the football field of the school. Like it was a really horrible thing. So his name was Daryl Floyd, and I wrote a song about Daryl, and that was it was a really beautiful song because I really felt that, and I was glad to share it with the audience, and I won that year as a solo because of that song. And it was really an award for Daryl. So let's recognize Daryl Floyd. I don't remember the details of his conflict, but in
Yeah.
Shreveport I could guess at it. I won't bring it up, but anyway, that's why I won that year is because I tugged on the sentimental strings of the
Well,
school.
I mean, you tapped into something that people felt,
I did, and I
which
felt
is
it
our
too.
job as a songwriter.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I learned. I was like, this is what I can do. This is what matters, is when you can tap into something that is present emotionally for people. But I don't know if I've done that with my career. I think to some degree I've run away from that emotion for most of my career. I don't know why um, but I kind of got on this thing where I didn't want to be too literal or too sophomoric,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I claim artistic license there, but I don't know if that's really the truth. In my older age, I sort of look back on my career, and I think maybe to some degree I've been maybe a little too evasive, but I don't know with taking artistic license and say, well, this is not linear and this is not narrative, but it's poetic and it's artistic. Um, that's my conflict. That's where I sort of have a conflict with myself. Is like, do you want to be narrative and journalistic to some degree, or do you want to be artistic? And to me, that's where I've hidden in that intersection. I think to some degree is what I've arrived at. So in these most recent years, I've tried to be uh, more narrative and more linear with my work.
That's
Um,
cool. I've
yeah,
started like stepping in there as well. Um,
yeah,
and recently I've been trying to step into the topics maybe that are a little uncomfortable to talk about or things that I thought
yeah,
I wasn't allowed to talk about or the things that I thought didn't matter
right.
or that nobody cared about and just be
Uh huh.
like why I care about them, so like I can talk about them and I can write
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Bash is saying he wants to hear that song about Daryl at some point.
Man, I don't know if I even remember it. That would be.
It might be worth. I don't know. Do you have a Patreon or something?
I
Like
do have
that'd
a
be
Patreon.
that might be an interesting release to your
I mean, I
patrons.
would have to go back and find it. I don't remember. I mean, so I've literally written thousands of songs since then. I don't know if I remember it. I was 17 years old then. I'm 53 now. I mean, there's been a lot of water under the bridge.
Well, if you ever happen across it, you know at least one person wants to hear it. I would be curious too, but like I totally understand it's been
Mhm.
a minute.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, I'll make myself answer. I didn't actually make myself answer one of these questions before. And then, do you have a song you want to play?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead and answer. I'll go get my ukulele.
Have I ever hacked someone else's account? I mean,
I mean, really?
so I haven't like broken into someone's computer, but
Yeah.
in college, I was an RA and there was a communal RA computer. So I'm just saying, if you left your Facebook logged in, that is fair game. And
Wow.
so we would post on each other's Facebooks, you know, just embarrassing, stupid crap. Like,
All right.
I think someone, and I didn't really think about doing it till someone like hacked mine or like posted something about how I was in love with Dwight Schmidt or something like from The Office, and I was just like,
I mean, who
really,
wasn't in
guys?
love with Dwight
I
Schmidt? I
mean,
mean, come
it's
on.
true.
He was
So
he was dreamy. He was a dreamboat.
yeah, it was all about the glasses, really. So that's pretty much the extent of it. The idea I just really don't like, mainly because I don't like that stuff happening to me. Like that's not the
Yeah.
kind of stuff I do to other people. It's like
Yeah.
I try not to play jokes or pranks on people that I wouldn't want happening to me. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. I try not to pull
Yeah.
a prank that I'm not willing to clean up. You know.
Yeah. That's the golden
So,
rule. That's the
but I
golden
do
rule.
like playing pranks on people.
Well, yeah, sure. Well,
Someone just asked, not in this thread, but like, if you broke into someone's house and the only thing you took were things that were mildly going to inconvenience someone, what are a couple things you would take?
I mean, I would first go to their record collection.
Put a record on?
Well, I would see what records they had, and if there was any I wanted, I would probably take those.
Okay.
And then I would, look in their pantry, for like good snacks.
I mean, I decided that I would take the shower curtain and all
Oh,
of the lids off all of the condiments in the fridge.
why the lids?
Because it's mildly inconvenient.
It is mildly inconvenient.
You're
That
like,
is
where the
absolutely.
F is the lid to the pickles? Come on, guys. How am I supposed to pour the freaking mustard? There's no squeeze cap. It's inconvenient.
It is very.
Or all the door handles, you know, of all the cabinets. You're like, how do you open this drawer? Or all the knobs on the oven.
Yeah, right. Take all their knobs off.
Yeah, like, that's pretty inconvenient. But like, doesn't cost a lot to fix, you know? Like,
Yeah,
at that point, you're just breaking and entering and like
right.
pissing someone off, basically.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, I'm thinking about what I would steal. I would steal the records probably. And if they didn't have records, then I would do something, to inconvenience them. I don't know what it would be like. Maybe throw all their dishwasher.
Just like take all their clothes off the rack and
Yeah.
put it on the ground.
Yeah, that would be good.
Put all their socks in their shoes.
Oh my gosh, that would
I don't
that
know.
would wreck me if you did that to my socks. I have a lot of socks.
All right, songs. What song are you gonna play?
All
I'm
right.
still figuring out what I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing this song called "It's Good to Be Human." I've never recorded it or released it, but I love it. I've been doing this during the pandemic. I wrote it, and because we've lost humanity, we've lost our connection with humanity and each other, and the sentiment of it is that it's good to be human. It's good to feel human.
Changing your sound real quick so I don't
Yeah,
forget.
right. Don't forget. So yeah, I mean, I like to be a human, and the few shows I've gotten to play for human beings have been really nourishing to me. There really is something about playing music for other humans, and it doesn't matter who it is. Like I've played for Austin audiences, all over the city, but I've also gone down to rural Texas and played for rural Texas audiences who are very different than Austin audiences. But the same feeling I get from it. Even you might have an audience who's sitting there in front of you listening to every word you say, or you might have an audience who like to get drunk and talk over you. And they're equally as valuable to me. So I like the humans. It's good to be human, doing what you must do. It's good to be human, being a human with you. It's good to be upright tonight, doing what you must do. It's good to be human, being a human with you. It's good to be me, doing what you must do. It's good to be human, being a human with you. I don't wanna set the world on fire. Baby, I'm full of desire. I don't wanna spend the rest of my days walking around in a haze. It's good to be human, doing what you must do. It's good to be human, being a human with It's good to be human, doing what you must do. It's good to be human, being a human with you. It's good to be human, being a human with you. It's good to be human. Lord, it's good to be. Being a human with you. Oh yeah, for all my human friends.
Yay! Oh, I gotta turn your echo off.
Woo!
Awesome!
Here's to all the humans.
Here's to all the humans. I toast my water to you.
Are you sober?
I'm not, but
Okay, good.
I
Good.
am and need to be hydrated tonight. So
No, hydration's good, but we should go drinking sometime, me and you.
fair deal.
Alright.
What's your drink of choice?
I like the mezcal. I like the mezcal.
I'm a whiskey. Typically a whiskier. Mm-hmm.
Whiskier the devil.
Nice. Let's see. Also, I haven't given everyone a shout out. Rose is here. Ken, Lisa, Chris, Heather, Kate.
Yeah.
Why to join? Darren's here. Coondog.
Caleb Holscher from the Caleb and the Homegrown Tomatoes. You know that band?
No.
Yeah, Caleb and the Homegrown Tomatoes.
Yeah. Dan Jason, Christopher from Missouri was
Wow.
here. Caleb. They were a couple. Kevin Cook
Kate
was
Howard.
here.
Do you know Kate Howard?
Yeah, she was my guest
Oh,
a few weeks ago.
she's a great songwriter. Hey,
Janet.
Kate.
All right. If I miss you, Chris Bash. If I miss you, so sorry. But definitely say hi.
And Phoebe
John Smith.
Onyangao. She's from Africa. Phoebe Onyangao.
All right. So I decided to play this one because it's a little more energy than the one I sound checked with, and I felt like it'd match yours a little better. Called In My Dreams. I discovered you in the parking lot. My second trip to Music Town. We met again in a bar in New Orleans. And ever since I struggled to put you down. You're just sitting there in the cupboard shadows, patiently waiting, 'cause you know that I know that just as soon as I can justify it, I'm coming for you, 'cause you never tell me no. There was a time you were never on my mind, and now it seems you're even in my dreams. Well, I never believed in the magical until you cast your own spell on me. Just like a bug in the blue light of death, I put my faith in technology.
Wow.
There was a time you were never on my mind, and now it seems you're even in my dreams. When does distraction become an addiction? The line's too thin to know. You're so beautiful, and I don't want to let you go.
Wow.
There was a time you were never on my mind, and now it seems you're even in my dreams. There was a time you never crossed my mind, and now it seems you're always in my dreams.
Damn.
Yeah?
Oh. Okay, we gotta talk about that.
Okay. I forgot until I sang it that it has New Orleans in it too.
Yeah, it's New Orleans. Just like a bug in the blue light of death.
Uh-huh.
What was the next line? Can you
I
remember?
put my faith in technology.
I put my faith. What's that about?
Well, your phone is blue light.
Right.
And
Oh,
like
okay.
you're
Okay.
drawn to it, you know?
Yeah,
Bugs
yeah,
are
yeah.
drawn to the blue light and they die, and I'm sucked into the blue light of my phone.
All right. So let's talk about this because
Okay.
I mean, I am a love junkie. Like I fall in love
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I fall in love with people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like that? Or is that what that's about? Like you fell in love with somebody?
It's if you want to know like the actual things I was writing about, it's about 3 different things.
Oh, 3 different
Yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
All well,
And it's all tied in through the bridge. When does distraction become an addiction?
right.
The line's too thin to know. You're so beautiful,
Okay.
and I don't want to let you go.
Is that what it's
So-
about? I mean, like falling in love with
Kind
people?
of. there's substance in there, there's
Uh-huh.
technology in there. Like it's the different things that I've experienced in my life that are like, it's
Is it sometimes
3:30. Is
like
that too
is it sometimes
early?
like you fall in love with a person, sometimes you fall in love with a body?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
if I thought you meant love specifically with the people. I was like, that's maybe one aspect of one verse, but like
Uh-huh.
the others are like just getting sucked into like wanting to like feed into something that gives you some kind of numbness or dopamine hit or
Uh,
something.
oh.
And so it might be a like on a page, you know, like all
Yeah,
of the
right.
content on all of the social media, like you're just putting stuff out there to
Right.
get likes, like, and that's the dopamine
Uh-huh.
hit, you know?
Uh-huh.
Is it the glass of alcohol, you know? Is it
Uh,
a
yeah.
person's attention, you know?
Right.
So,
Right. I mean,
yeah.
I really love attention from women. It's like what I like,
Yeah.
I do.
I mean,
Uh,
it's nice, you
it's
know?
nice.
I
I mean,
mean, there's some
yeah.
attention that's not nice. You're like, that's too
Yeah,
much. Thank
sure,
you.
sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. But that's what made me think about it. It's like, because, everybody has their own subjective experience of that, you know? Uh, and it was just interesting to hear, like, when you hear other artists express that, like, I don't express that a lot, but,
Yeah.
but I related to what you were just singing there on my own level, on my own way, my own subjective way. I was projecting onto your song
Yeah.
what I felt about that.
And that's how it should be too. Like if it's evoking something in you, then like and it's making you like if you feel like you resonate even if that's not what I was writing, like that's a win, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
that I'm
Absolutely.
tapping into your like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a huge compliment. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. No, that
Yeah.
was cool. I mean, I felt what you were singing about in my own way.
Awesome. I mean,
That's what
awesome,
you
but
want.
also like kind of it can be kind of a sick thing too. So, I
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm glad that the
Yeah.
whole point was for me to try and press into something I was actually feeling and be able to express it in a way that other people could feel it too.
So those are
So
three
like,
different experiences.
yes, three
Wow.
different either objects or
Were you
things I've seen in
aware
my life.
that there were three different experiences when you were writing it, or did you realize that
Yes.
after you wrote it?
Yes, because I intended it to be three different verses and then the chorus
Uh,
between each, and then I just paired the first two together, and I was like,
really?
it's not the same story, but like,
Uh-huh.
that's all right. I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm the
I
writer.
think that's
I can do
important,
that.
like people to know that when artists write, that they're writing about different moments and different times and different places.
I like
And
to do that a lot, where
yeah.
each verse is a different part of the story or
Hmm.
it's somebody else's story completely. One verse is about a girl, one verse is about a guy,
Right.
and it's different parts of the story, but they still tie together with the
Yeah.
chorus. That's my goal and my aim is for whatever I'm talking about to be illustrations of like the
Right.
point of the chorus,
Yeah.
usually.
And the thing that holds them together is your sort of subjective feeling about all of that. Or is that accurate?
Um, in this particular song,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was just like taking three objects or three things in my life that like just noting like, you know, there was a time when I wasn't thinking about you all the time.
Hmm.
And what are three things that consume a lot of my thoughts or a lot of my time these days?
Yeah.
And I wrote about those things.
Yeah. That's interesting, that the way that we obsess about things that, I mean, anybody else might think of that, or we tell them about it and they might think that it's nothing to obsess about, but yet we obsess about it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just it seems random, but to us it's not random.
And you hope that it passes, you know? Like you don't want to obsess about something forever because that's
No,
pretty
you won't obsess
crazy.
about,
But
but I do have weird things of, the brain is a very fascinating organ in the way that it will obsess on things that seem irrelevant,
yeah,
right? Logically irrelevant, so, objectively irrelevant things. I
yeah,
could go into, I'm not going to go into it here because, into things that I obsess about and things that I remember. on a regular basis. But I'm
Yeah.
sure everyone does this.
Yeah.
Now, I could share this where so we have a dishwasher, like most people, but I also like to wash dishes by hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do like to wash dishes by hand. I even, as an occupation in my life, at times I've had the job of dishwasher,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm proud of those. I used to work at Louis 106
Nice.
as a dishwasher down in 6th and Congress. If anybody remembers Louis 106, I was a dishwasher there for a summer, and but when I wash dishes, I shared this with my wife, my partner, recently, because I wanted to share with her the weird thing about the brain, the way the memories are.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 8th, ninth grade in Humble, same time period I was referring to, I had a drummer for a while named Donald. And I can't remember his last name. His first name was Donald, but I can't remember his last name. A black guy named Donald, great drummer, same age as me. I don't remember how we met or how we even played music together. I don't even remember how we even connected. It's weird, but we were friends. And I would after rehearsal, sometimes I would have him and his little brother, who would just hang out with him, over to the house, because I knew my parents, they welcomed anyone. So, and my mom would cook for us, and I can remember Donald and his brother washing dishes with their with their hands. They wouldn't use the sponge or a brush or anything. They would use their hands. And I remember questioning Donald. I was like, "What? What's that? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh man, there's nothing better than your hands to wash dishes. Your hands are the best dishwashers. They're better than sponges because they really do clean plates better." And I shared that with my wife recently. I was like, when I wash dishes with my hand, I think of Donald. And this is years ago.
Yeah.
You know, why does my brain always, when I do that, think of Donald? I don't know why.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's a person who taught you something.
yeah, maybe that's all it is. But then my wife, she was washing dishes with her hand recently, and she's like, thinking of your friend Donald.
That's funny.
It's really funny. The brain
I'm
is
trying to
very.
think. Sometimes I think about my dad when I'm tying a bow,
Mhm.
because he taught me how to tie my shoes,
Oh
you know?
yeah,
So
wow.
like, and just remembering, I don't tie them the same way because he did like the loop and the loop, and then you loop the loops together. You
Right.
like bunny ear, loop loop. I don't do that. I'm like, that's so inefficient. But
Well, how do
anyways,
you do it, Miss Priss?
one loop and you wrap around through that and pull
Oh,
through instead of, because you have to hold two loops and then you like put them together and then like
yeah.
my hands were so tiny they've just like
Oh
like
yeah.
they just like,
That has
and
a
you have to
lot to do with
start
the size
over
of your
over and over and
hands
over.
and what's
Yeah,
efficient to you.
let's
Interesting.
demonstrate, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Okay. All right, with my
All right,
iPhone,
there's the first loop.
one loop, you
Okay.
wrap around and
Yeah.
then pull through.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
Yeah,
How
I
did
don't
your
know
dad do
why.
it? How
He
did your
would
dad
like do one loop and then do two loops and then you
Ah.
like
Oh,
fold
loop
it
the loop.
under. Yeah.
He loops the loop.
Now I can't get it off. But yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It's
That's what's weird.
too
That's
much
what's
room for
weird.
error.
Yeah. I,
Oh.
I taught my daughter to brush her teeth. She put the toothpaste on your brush, and then you run it under the water, and then you brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of water. And I remember her sharing with me that her friends were making fun of her, like, why would you put water on it? Just brush your teeth. You don't have
You
to put
got a
water
lot. Yeah, you got a lot of saliva in there.
on it. And I was like, but the issue is, like, that's how I was taught to do it by
Yeah.
my parents. I don't know why.
I recently, in the last 2 years, completely overhauled my oral care. Like, I
Really?
don't use toothpaste anymore. I use tooth powder,
Oh,
tooth
yeah.
charcoal powder. And you
Oh,
don't,
charcoal powder. Black
yeah,
charcoal powder.
yes. It's
That is
pretty
so
alarming
creepy.
if you're messy because you're like
It
blue and
is
black.
alarming visually, it's too much.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest and talking about all of this with me. It's
You
been
don't
a
have
lot
to
of
cut me off
fun.
right now. I mean, we're just talking about charcoal powder. It's no big deal.
Oh, no, I just realized we've been talking an hour and 15 minutes, which I'm enjoying.
I will
Actually,
look. I'll
we can
talk to you
still
all night.
talk.
I'll talk to you all night.
We can still talk, but I got to end the show.
Okay, you got it.
Uh,
Okay.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm trying to see if there's anything any comments I need to throw up onto the screen. Let's see. Kate Howard says hi.
Kate Howard is. You should really check out
Kevin.
Kate Howard, Natalie. She's a great songwriter.
I know her. We're
Oh, you know her.
friends.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just.
Jim Henriksen is here. Um, that's true. Kate says a lot of shoes have Velcro now, so that's great.
True.
Forget tying. Who needs to
I
tie?
like slippers. No, I like to avoid tying shoes. I don't like to tie shoes.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of slippers.
Ethan and Ashley Bailey are sending love from Montana.
Wow, Montana. Have you ever been to Montana?
I have one time, and I wrote a song on the kalimba,
Really?
and it was the most gorgeous trip and place I've ever been.
Did you go in the
into.
summer?
May.
Yeah, well, that's
It
still
was
pretty
pretty
early.
cold. It was
That's
pretty
pretty cold.
No
Yeah.
snow on the ground.
Yeah, that's still a cold time in Montana. I love Montana. I love Montana in the summer, especially in July. Montana in July is one of the greatest places in the world.
Montana in July.
Montana in July.
It's gonna be a heartbreaker. Gosh, no, I really have enjoyed this. I'm so glad that you said yes to being on the show, even though you didn't really know me. And you've been an absolute delight to visit with. And
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we should be drinking sometime.
Yeah, down.
You seem like a really good drinking buddy.
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I am Irish, so we got that going for me. All right.
Right.
Y'all have an awesome night. We're gonna end the broadcast now. Feel free, if you enjoyed this conversation, to please share it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your whatever you do online. That would be great. And y'all have an awesome. Oh, is there anything else you want people to tune into this week, or look out for you coming up soon?
Gosh.
I'll throw your website out again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always doing stuff. Next Monday, I'm doing the Sequestered Songwriters Kenny Rogers tribute night. So I'm hoping I get the Kenny Rogers song that I want.
Okay, nice.
Tonight I did the Garth Brooks tribute night, and that was really great. And then tonight, Natalie, I didn't tell you, I just found out between the time we sound checked and the show, I found out I won the Austin Music Award for Best 2020 Theme Song.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, y'all have a good night. Tune in to Kevin's website, and we'll catch you later.